Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about parametric equations. Until now, we've been learning about functions, right? Especially in algebra. When we learn about functions in algebra, we usually write functions like this. Okay, and this usually represents a curve. I don't know, it could be something like that, like this. I don't know, this curve can be represented by that function, or maybe this curve, right? And a lot of other curves that we study cannot be represented by this or just by this notation or this way of representing this kind of relations. For this, we are going to use parametric equations. Okay, so to deal with this, this type of curve, we use parametric equations. All right, so instead of defining y in terms of x like this, like we had before, right, we're going to use a different method. We're going to use x is going to be defined as another parameter. Okay, and that parameter will usually be called t. Okay, so x is going to be ft, and y is going to be represented as g of t, right? So what we're saying here is that the x, it's in terms of the parameter t, in terms of the variable t, and y, it's in the variable t, okay? Another way of writing this that is really common is x of t, and then the expression that represents this, okay? All right, let me erase this, and let's do a problem. Let's do a problem in which we need to graph or sketch a parametric equation. So maybe we have this. We have that xt, or just x, if you prefer x, it's equal to t to the power of 2 plus t. And y is going to be equal to 2t minus 1. If we know what is x and what is y in terms of t, when we have a value for t, then we have a coordinate. We have a coordinate x and y, right? When we have a specific value for t. So we can use the method that we probably been using for a while when we study functions, but with the extra variable. So we have t, right? And all my other variables, well, okay, my bad. All my other variables, x and y, are going to depend of that t. So x and y, okay? So if t is -2, what is going to be the value for x and y? Let's use another color. Okay, so for x, if t is equal to -2, what is the value of x? So we know that x, it's equal to -2 to the power of 2. Remember, I'm using this expression, right? So -2 to the power of 2 plus a -2. But -2 to the power of 2 is 4. So 4 plus a -2 is -2. So there's 4 minus 2, which is 2. So if t is -2, then x is equal to 2, right? And what about the value for y? So y will be equal to 2 times -2 minus 1. So 2 times -2 minus 1. But 2 times -2 is -4 minus 1. And -4 minus 1, it's -5. So we now have our first coordinate when t is -2. Okay, and that coordinate is 2, -5. Okay, so let's do a couple other values, and you can pause this video and try it by yourself. Let's use -1. Let's use -1 over 2. Let's use 0, and 1. Okay, those are the ones that we're going to use for this example. Okay, again, in blue, if I have -1, so x is going to be equal to -1 to the power of 2. Remember, we're doing it here, okay? So -1 to the power of 2 plus -1. This is +1, so 1 minus 1 will be 0. So that is 0. Let's do the one for y. So we have that y for -1. Another way of writing this, even I do it like this mostly, is y of -1. Because in this way, I'm remembering what value it's being evaluated into the expression. So t is -1, so 2 times -1 minus 1. This is -2. -2 minus 1 will be -3. So So for -1, if the value for t is -1, then our value for y is -3. For t equal to -1/2. Okay, so x of -1/2. Remember, both notations are good. So it's equal to -1/2 to the power of 2, right? Plus -1/2. Okay, so -1/2, it's 1/4. So this is equal to 1/4. Positive times negative, -1/2. And if you remember, over 2. You can amplify these two values, and you get 1 minus 2 over 4, and this is -1/4. So the value for x will be -1/4. Okay, well, which one? Let me write it here. Actually, we can just move the canvas. All right, so let's do it for, okay, so let's do it for y now. So y of -1/2. Remember that y, it's this expression, okay? And we need to use that one. So it will be 2 times -1/2, right? Minus 1. These two can be crossed out. -1 minus 1 will be -2. So the value for y when t is -1/2 will be -2. The others can be done mentally. Okay, you don't have to do all that if you don't want. Because, for example, for 0, for x, so 0 squared plus 0, 0 squared is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. So you already have the value for x. What about 0 in y? So 2 times 0 is 0, 0 minus 1 is -1. So for those simple ones, we can do it fairly quick. What about 1? 1 to the power of 2 is 1, plus 1 will be 2. So we have 2 here, right? And what about the other one? 1. T is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. And we are done. We have all the information that we need to graph it. Why? Because these are, if I erase this, these are coordinates. These are coordinates, right? And if we have coordinates, then we can sketch this on a coordinate plane. Okay, so let's erase all these calculations that we did. Okay, and we can graph it. So let me import a coordinate plane real quick. Okay, so let's graph this coordinates into the coordinate plane. So the coordinate 2 and -5, so 2 and x, -5 and y will be here, right? The next coordinate is 0 and -3. So 0 in x, -3 in y. So we have it here, -1/4 and -2. -1/4. Okay, so we need to divide this unit into 4 pieces, right? So we divide it like that. And if we take 1, this is negative. This is -1/4. So -1/4 with -2. So it will be around here. 0 and -1. So 0 and -1 will be around there. And 2 and 1. So 2 in x and 1 in y. Clearly, we see the figure, what we have, right? We see that we have a curve. Okay, so let's graph this curve. We started from here, from 2. And 2, right, went to this point right here, 0 and -3. And then we move here, right? And after that, we move here. So basically, we're moving in this direction, right? Every time that t gets higher and higher, we're moving into this direction, right? We can even do this one better, right? To make it more like a curve, right? And we go then to this point right here. So we notice that this is what's happening with the equations, or the sketch of the equation. So this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You choose values for t, okay? You evaluate x and y, and with those coordinates, you will be able to put it on your coordinate plane and sketch the graph. Okay, in the next video, we're going to learn how to eliminate this third variable. Okay, and everything will be in terms of x and y. So watch the next video so you know how to deal with this process on this topic, parametric equations.